Hello and welcome on chapter 3 of my dramatic reading of my fanfiction Identity Quest, in which I'm not afraid to talk about, you know, God, Krishna. Some people will like what is spoken, so other people won't. I understand that. I also don't expect this to be like the most popular thing on the internet. Um, there's not, it's it's not what people expect to read when they come to a fan fiction website and they see that, Nanashi's shipped with Krishna, Krishna's shipped with everyone, and Radha Krishna's shipped with Radha, and then, there's the fact that someone's gender is a bit complicated. I don't think people would expect me to speak about a spiritual culture with characters like that. Anyway, so as you see, there's 7 chapters written. Actually, no, the 10th one is finished. Um, it's just that, once again, this is not just my mental speculation, it's not just a story. I'm actually being read by this elder Vaishnav, and I am surprised she likes what I'm writing. I mean, it's gonna get pretty, uh, it's gonna get pretty heavy from now on. Once again, their major character dead. I don't know if their death will last, but people will die. So once again, 1 star is based on historical fact, 2 star based on true story, personal and others, and 3 star is based on Vaishnav literature or other revealed scriptures. Oh my, this one, okay. So yeah, before I start, I want us all, if you're willing of course, to chant the Mahamantra. Oh, nothing bad will happen. It's just, the peace formula. Just try it. It'll make you feel better. Trust me. So, 3, 2, 1. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ah, yes. Chapter 3. I wrote this and posted this right after my first ever trip to India. Now, just to put you into my situation, I don't work. And somehow or other, I got enough money to go all the way to Mayapur, Kolkata. I've never been out of the country in my life. I've never been on a plane in my life. I had a blast, a 21-hour trip, and those 2 months I passed in Mayapur were amazing. Once the whole COVID thing is over and international travel is open again, make yourself a favor and go to Mayapur. I am begging you, just pack your bag. Don't worry about money. Don't worry about food. Don't worry about looking for doctor. Mayapur is the place to go. Okay, so chapter 4. 3. So after the entire thing, by the way, when last chapter Nana she said in 11, 10 mean, he's not supposed to walk, meaning he's unconscious. 11 means, it's, he should be dead. Obviously he's not. So Krishna speaking. She bounced back rather quickly, commented Krishna from the couch. The Lord, being very tall, could very comfortably sit on its back in a very casual manner, unfitting for his position. Remember, Krishna's God. He's just, sitting like a teenager on the back of a lime green couch. He filled the room with this bluish light and his fragrance. Either that, or the garland he wore had entered a pretty intense competition with his natural aroma and was losing badly. Nanashi sighed, trying to get his mind away from those very dangerous thoughts, and instead onto the subject of his delightful adopted sister. By this I mean, he's adopted by anyway. Yes, Nanashi's adopted. Yes, Azahi, after this horrible and traumatic experience, had declared to her dad that she needed to be a hunter. As in, It was imperative that she became one as to not waste Nikari and Manabu's selfless sacrifice, since, in her little head of hers, being in constant danger of death would make them proud. Well, they would be proud. The problem was, Azahi was no fighter. Unsurprisingly, the boss did not approve at all. But who could blame him? He had almost lost both his daughter and adopted son today, his only reasons to live. So, after the family drama, Azahi had stormed off to somewhere in the Kinshisho station while Nanashi remained in his room since, well, he didn't want people asking questions as to how he could have survived a pierced heart, the bloodlust, and the heavy burns and other assorted cuts and bruises. So he was resting in his room, and Krishna, God, was there, illuminating the room with his dark blue effulgence and filling the stale air with his incomparable bodily aroma. Oh, and playing on his golden flute what sounded like a love song. Krishna was truly indescribable. But then, this may explain why so few descriptions of God were available. No one could grasp his form in mere words. He had to be experienced. Who would believe that God, the supreme and absolute truth, the source of everything, the father of all living entities, was a dark blue 16-year-old boy who played the flute? Nanashi knew he wouldn't. Hell, he had a hard time grasping that he was actually sitting on the back of his lime green couch and wearing a fedora of all things. Nanashi sighed. What a crazy day. And it's not even lunch yet. Is everything fine, Kripa? Krishna asked, some concern coloring his pleasant voice. Nanashi opened his eyes and lightly glared at the godly blue youth. My name is Nanashi, not Creeper. No, it's not, Krishna countered. Your name is Krishna Kripa. But since it would get very confusing... Wait, Krishna... Okay, about the name Krishna. You have to say it as sweetly and as Indian as possible to understand how beautiful it is. Krish means beauty. Na means... well, I know that Krish means beauty. Na means unlimited. So it means unlimited beauty. Krishna. Or Krishna. Yeah, we don't really pronounce the A. Actually, the way it's written, K-R-I-S-H, K-R-I-S-H-N-A, that's not how you actually spell it. It's just two words, just two syllables in Sanskrit. And the way we write it is K-R-S-N-A. That's it. And with those little dot under to make you know, like, there's a certain way to say it. Also, I think there's like in every single letter, there's an avatar. Yeah, anyway. Krishna's name is unlimited. I could speak for hours on it, and, it's not even stuff I can remember on the top of my head. Okay. So your name is Krishna, your name is Krishna Kripa. But since it would get very confusing, I've settled for the second part of your name, Kripa, or causeless mercy. The Lord smiled sweetly as he spoke. But why? Nanashi is not a bad name. Krishna snorted. I do not want a nameless servant. Nanashi rolled his eyes. He hated when people made this pun. But to save his sister, he had to basically sold his very self to Krishna for all eternity. He just hoped Narada was right and that Krishna was different from Jehovah. Nanashi, I am different from this entity. I promise you, I only want the best for all living entities. You will never regret this, I assure you. Yeah, whatever, boss. Nanashi knew he could not step back out of the deal. He lapsed into silence. His wounds were not quite healed yet, but he didn't feel like sleeping anymore, surprisingly enough. After some time, he spoke something that weighed in his heart. Krishna, why me? Why did you die? Krishna asked. No, why did you choose me? I'm just a cadet. I've never prayed to you and... Jeez, why didn't you revive Nikari? He mightily accused the Lord as he managed to sit somewhat up. Or Manabu. Better yet, why did you let us get ambushed? If you're God, saving them would have been a trip to the park. Krishna lowered his eyes. To become my eternal servant is not cheap, Kripa. It's very rare, even amongst the self-realized. He paused. They were meant to die today by the flames of the Dramarashasura. They will take a new birth, a new human birth in a year from now. But why? Why me? Nanashi tried to sit up straighter as he demanded a clear answer for once. I'm just another unclean one you stuck in a shithole. Krishna's face darkened at the accusation. I have never done such a thing. You're God, aren't you? The cause of everything, the source of everything, and your servants just love to remind us about how unworthy we are. The Lord sighed, rubbing his forehead. Nanashi, Kripa, I have nothing to do with those imitation kinnaras. And while I may be the cause and the source of everything, I'm only but the facilitator and witness. All the living entities are in the material world by their own choice. Yeah, that means we're here suffering because, we made some decisions. We have a faith. Yeah, that's me doing a class. We all have a certain, destiny to go through. But this destiny is not written in stone, and it's by our decision faced by those choices that shape our future. So if I'm a Hare Krishna, my future is different, is so much different than if I would still be an atheist, a materialist, whatever you are right now. I would probably be panicking. I would probably be living with my mom and dad in the basement again. They would still probably try to get me a job. Maybe I would not even have a job. Maybe I would be living on the street. Maybe I would be on St. Catherine as a prostitute. That was my situation. Now, well, today I've just had a very nice meal, home cooked, with beautiful fresh vegetable. I just saw God today and I had a smoothies made with avocado. And that's just a material benefit. Right now, I'm in a nice cool basement, speaking on my second tablet, a fiction that I managed to write in my dinky tiny computer, and about to post it on YouTube, and somebody actually want me to monetize it. Well, I won't do that to you guys. Well, maybe I'll set up a PayPal account if you want to, help the cause, but it's up to you. Anyway. So yeah, that's basically karma. We make our own future. So those who have no belief in God, no belief in Krishna, they're still free to act. Krishna will not force himself on anyone unless they want to. And, you make a decision that will keep you in a material world over and over and over and over again. So you're cursing yourself to suffer eternally. Those who follow Krishna, they just need to say once, I'm yours, and Krishna will take care of you and will bring you out, giving you eternal life. Yeah, that's basically what happened. Well, we're already eternal, but I mean you'll have this one eternal lifetime in which you don't have to change all the time. You are who you are forever. And no, it never gets boring. Things get better and better and better and sweeter and grander and lovelier and sweeter. And, it just doesn't end. That's what we're trying to give to all of you guys. This is when you see Hare Krishna on the street, they're just not trying to put you into a cult. They're trying to give you real pleasure. I mean, think about the highest pleasure you have. Right now, I'm having more pleasure speaking in a tablet than that pleasure you're thinking right now. And I'm not kidding you. Anyway, so as Krishna would explain what I just did. Okay, I'm only but a facilitator and a witness. All the living entities are in the material world by their own choice. And their actions are choices taken with impure mind and intelligence, controlled by lust, greed, passion, and ignorance. The result, of those poor decisions can easily be seen in the constant state of unrest of the material world, like COVID, the war, Trump. Krishna paused, his golden eyes growing distant. I never wanted any of you to be in this bleakest part of the material world. I never wanted any of you to suffer countless births. I want you all back. I want you all to be happy. But no one listened to me. Krishna lowered his head and removed his hat, revealing a tightly bound top knot, decorated with many priceless pearls. You all rather tried to be me than to be with me. Nanashi blinked. Krishna? What are you talking about? Are we even speaking about the same thing? The Supreme Personality of Godhead silently gazed at the bedridden boy, looking deeply into his heart. At that moment, Nanashi never felt so naked in his entire life. There was absolutely nothing he could do to hide from his gaze. This was probably the time where he realized that, yes, Krishna was who Narada claimed him to be. Finally, after what seemed to be an eternity, Krishna broke his silence with a heavy gaze. And his heavy gaze, sorry. No. Nanashi felt his body go slack. Obviously. Jeez, man, what's wrong with you? The Lord let out a humorless laugh. I don't know. It seems a good part of humanity thinks everything is wrong with me. I feel fine though. Alright, so you say you want us out of here. But what have you done to get us out? Nanashi asked. Kripa, I have sent countless of my representatives in the countless countries on the countless planet and countless universes, so that all the suffering souls may have a chance to return to my eternal abode. Krishna spoke with gravity, leaning forward and looking deeply in Nanashi's glowing yellow eyes, touching his servant's soul with his own golden glance. I even descended myself 554 years ago, or in our case in 2020, 534 years ago. Then sent a good friend of mine to spread my sacred name to the world at large, the supreme path of liberation. Yeah, well, what's left of the world doesn't even know your name. We can't even say it, Nanashi. I don't know what he did, but he kind of spoke dismissively. Krishna tilted his head. Oh, what do you mean? I mean, every time we say your name, it just glitch. The Lord just kept staring. Okay, watch this. Nanashi demonstrated to the Lord, the alien word vibrating against his ears. All right, you said Jehovah, that's another one of my name, and I heard you speak it clearly. Nanashi stared at the Lord, Jehovah himself. But I also heard a very weak illusion covering it, he added, making this name unusual. No wonder, since it has become attached to a demon playing my role. Just stick to Krishna or Hari. The Lord gave a heart-melting smile to Nanashi. Now, what were you saying about the world? He asked with a tilt of his head. Nanashi stared for a while. Everything about Krishna was perfect. From the way he moved to the way he talked. The new servant of God had a hunch saying no to God would be harder than expected. Didn't you hear about God's plan? An adorable, confused look ensued, and it made Krishna that much more attractive. Like everything he did, it seemed. Damn it, he's doing it on purpose. Clearing his throat, Nanashi continued. 25 years ago, I heard demons started to pop out of nowhere in the world, killing and eating people while so-called gods proved to be no better than your average yakuza. Only now dealing with human fate. The boy who survived began. Oh, sure. Human fought back, enslaving demons with a special app and killing as many more as possible. For some time, I heard it became part of life. Just another bump in a shitty road. And then the day of the apocalypse arrived, Nanashi dramatized. We don't know who pressed the button first. Some say it was America, others says it was Russia, and a minority said it was us, Japan. But the result remained the same. The whole planet got nuked to hell. Tokyo survived the shitstorm only because Flynn sacrificed his life to Masakado, the protector god of Japan, who used his body to form the firmama. Nanashi scoffed as he tried to stifle the horrific image of the samurai cutting his own head. And Masakado. Especially Masakado. Saved us from the ICBM strike, but got us locked with the demon, the angels, and whatever's in between looking for her human resources. That's terrible, the Lord commented, and to Nanashi's great surprise, it was said with all the sincerity in the world. On top of us, I heard civilization restarted, but the time is messed up and angels won't let us up anyway. Not that I'd want to. I heard you have to swallow a shallow religion they also do not understand. A religion that began as a simplified version of my teaching. Krishna finished as he shook his head sadly, making a shark-shaped earring dance against his flawless cheeks. Right, I'm speaking to the one true God here. Wait, so you don't... No, I do not condone fanaticism in any way, shape, or form. I want my devotees to go to the path of bhakti with full knowledge of me and the way to attain me. Not parrot who squawks lofty verse without understanding the most simple of its tenet. He elegantly crossed his arms. Nanashi just stared at him. You don't want brainless zealot? Krishna looked positively disgusted. No, why would I want madmen who use my words for their own nefarious purpose? It's stupid. He said it as he threw his hands in the air. I told you, Kripa. I want all the conditioned soul back to me, and for this I've sent many teachers and acharyas, special souls who follows my word flawlessly. They are perfect and transparent instrument of my mercy, and they are in the material world to salvage those who are materially exhausted and ready to go back home. And those acharyas empower their students to liberate more conditioned souls, the Lord explained. Now, if those teachers and students were zealot, he shuddered. Oh, I have seen enough so-called religious war and so-called saintly men destroy the spiritual culture and tenet I personally gave. Nanashi grunted. Wow, he'd never expected God to be so down to earth. It was reassuring. And then it hit him. Krishna, you're not the one controlling... You're not Jehovah. Sorry, you're not... Are you? No, I'm not this demon. Oh, so the one controlling Merkaba is... Not you, meaning he's fake? I don't know what I was trying to write there, but I think it's implied that now Nanashi's realizing that there's no angels, it's all demons. Yes, Krishna sighed, closing his eyes in what could be only be qualified as the greatest relief ever known to man, or the second at least. Nanashi remained silent as he worked out what he had just heard. As for why I chose you, well, didn't Narada bless you? The Lord asked as he tilted his head and crossed his leg. My Narada is one of my most powerful preacher. He travels the universe to teach and bless countless living entities with the gift of bhakti. You've met him. You've appreciated his dancing and singing, and thus he asked me to accompany you on your adventure. Krishna, God explained as he sheepishly rubbed the back of his head. While I am the supreme independent, I just can't say no to my pure devotees. Beside, the Lord looked down bashfully. I do miss you. A moment of silence fell on the duo before Nanachi broke it. You spoke to me yesterday. I did. But why? Am I not just another soul for you? Krishna raised his head, looking right at the boy as if he had spoken one of the greatest lies in the world. Why do you think like that? I care for all of my small parts and parcels. A father of many cares for all of his progeny, whether they are obedient or not. All right, but where the hell were you when the bomb fell? And when there's a calamity? Where are you when we all prayed to you to save our friends and to spare the innocent? Kripa. Nanashi let himself drop down on his bed. He had so many questions to ask the Lord, questions no one seemed to have an answer for. But now that God was there, he could finally get his answers to those pesky questions that had kept him up at night. Krishna, why do we suffer? What have we done to deserve all this? Children, women, innocent people, why? Why? Unseen by the boy, the Lord smiled. It is karma, or the past reaction to sinful activities. You mean the stuff you don't want us to do, so that you may keep us in the dark ages, Nanashi countered. No, the act I prohibited for humankind is to make sure you remain at the human platform, the Lord explained. Sinful activities are synonymous with subhuman actions, and those subhuman actions cause terrible consequences like war, cataclysm, pestilence, and abnormal weather. By abnormal weather, I mean, the tornadoes, earthquake, heat wave, Arctic vortex, winter that lasts too long, summer that lasts too long, drought, all that. Yeah, that's what he's talking about. But why? Why can't we just not suffer here? Or, not have such a shitty life? Krishna asked. He then felt Krishna's gaze on him. No, it was not Krishna who was looking at him, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It was actually awesome. No, not that type of awesome where you ride around Tokyo on the biggest demon ever, blabbering queens, don't stop me now, as you conquer everything in sight. It was a type of awesome that make you feel so small and insignificant. Krishna Kripa, the Lord began, his deep voice pervading the ether. The material world is a prison meant for the spirit soul desires to enjoy without me. It is a terrible world filled with torment at every step. It is a world where every action has a consequence, either good or bad, and those reaction forms many links in a chain that bind you there. Those terrible chains have dragged you all around the three-planetary system without any respite. There is still pleasure here. It's not all that bad, the bedridden boy argued. I mean, sure, there is some good and bad, but you just need to enjoy it while it lasts. On the other side of the room, Nanashi could feel the frustration of the Lord growing. While it lasts? Kripa, have you realized how much effort it takes to have but a drop of pleasure in this material world? How long does it last? 20 minutes at best. No, but a moment of empty relief before the suffering return. Then what's the point of the thing then? Nanashi snapped at the Lord. He was hungry, in pain, and now on the verge of hopelessness. And then he understood. Wait, this material world is a prison, a correctional facilities. Yes, the Lord whispered. You don't want us to stay here. You want us back. And that's why it's not perfect, he concluded. And while it was a bitter pill to swallow, It was still better than the alternative. He heard the Lord snap his fingers. Yes, finally, you've understood. There is no real happiness in the material world at all, and whatever is there is just like finding a drop of water in a desert. No matter how many drops you will find, you will never be satisfied, explained a bald man in orange with a hooked nose. His soft green eyes held a love and wisdom that transcend time and space. The boy, the boy blinked away the memory, being used to it. And yet, he could not help but feel the pain of separation from this strange man with kind eyes. Kripa, is everything all right? Krishna asked. Yeah, just some flashback, I guess. What were you talking about anyway? We were talking about how this material world is an ocean of suffering, and how no bliss is present here. Yeah, wow, so joyful, Nanashi snarked. So you don't want us to have pleasure at all here? No, Krishna denied. I want you all to have pleasure. The very nature of the soul is to seek pleasure. The thing is, the further away you are from me, the less you have it. And before you accuse me of being stingy and cruel, just listen before you pass judgment. So another name for Krishna is Rama. Ram means pleasure. It means a notion of pleasure. The way Krishna had said it, not ordering, but quite pleading, made the bedridden boy more open. Clearly, it was something he had to get off his broad and inviting chest. There was no way Nanashi could prevent the Lord to say his piece. Kripa, I am the source of everything, and I do mean everything, in its pure and unadulterated state, and this includes pleasure. Just like the source is the source of all the sun is the source of all light and heat in the world. Well, I've never seen the sun. All right, then take a simple light. The further you are, the less heat and light you perceive, Krishna explained. The same principle applies to me also. The further we are from you, the less pleasure we feel, Nanashi realized. Yes, my Narada was right once again. You are a bright young man, Krishna smiled as he praised his servant. Nanashi blushed. But how can we get pleasure then, if it's our nature? A broader smile illuminated Krishna's golden moonlight face as some tear gathers at their side. My dear Kripa, all glories to you. My dear friend, the spirit soul, the actual self, separated from this body made of 16 elements, belong to the spiritual world. It is a world filled with unlimited varieties of pleasure and eternal relationships. Time is conspicuous by its absence. Every word is a song, and every step is a dance. Weather is sweeter than the nectar of immortality, and death is but a rumor. This is where you all belong, at my side. Oh, my Kripa, I have nothing against the enjoyment of the living entity. I just want to enjoy with you all in my perfect and eternal abode. At this, Nanashi rose from his bed and stared at Krishna, taking a moment to take in his beauty. Holy crap, is that the same person? Krishna? The beautiful, otherworldly being gave the pious soul a very smug, self-satisfied smile. Yes, it is me, Kripa. Oh. Kripa, are you sure everything is fine? The source of all beauty asked as he tilted his head to the side, making his earring and hair decoration dance. A slew of stars burst forth from all the pearls in his dark curly lock of hair. Nanashi blinked and internally cursed. He was not supposed to find Krishna attractive. He was not supposed to be attracted to beings that were not humans, let alone men. Okay, you know what? I'm not even human to begin with. But Krishna's God. There must be rules against that. Kripa, Yeah, so, we don't belong here? We're not from this world? Nanashi stuttered. Krishna smiled, stealing Nanashi's heart. No, of course not. Where are we from then? Laughter shone through Krishna's golden eyes. All the spirit souls belong to the spiritual world, either Vaikunta, Ayodhya, Dwarka, or Vrindavan. You mean the place we first met, right? The memory's still fresh. The sight, the sound, everything was perfect over there. And yet, Nanashi felt that something was, no, not really missing, but hiding. But one thing was for sure though, Nanashi wouldn't mind going back. Krishna smiled as he answered, Wow, I've never seen someone smiling so much. It gave him a very warm, unexplainable feeling. It was... He desperately wanted. Why was I not born with 2X chromosome? It would have been so much easier to deal with those feelings. So, now what? Nanashi asked, desperate to change to a less awkward subject. What do you mean, now what? The Lord shot back. Well, what should I do? I mean, I'm your servant now, for all eternity. Krishna's eyes grew wide as he took a deep breath in sheer wonder. You accept to be my devotee? Krishna asked. It was heartbreaking to hear the hope in his voice. It was hard to understand also, but Nanashi had been warned that he was inconceivable. Yeah, Nanashi shrugged. You made more sense than the other guy, and, well, what do I have to lose? Oh, absolutely nothing, Krishna answered as he leaned back. A brilliant smile was lighting his whole moon-like face. You have nothing to lose, O killer of Adramalesh. Yes, Adramalesh is dead. And everything to gain. Krishna's soft, loving gaze never left his servant. Now, if you want my opinion, I do believe our best course of action would be to follow your sister and calm her before the poor girl performs something incredibly foolish. Right. While Nanashi's hormones had not quite kicked in yet, his sister's had been aggressive, and she was now acting like a full-on teen rebel with her dad. It had been cool at first to see her rebel, but now the boy knew that being rebellious in a place where survival rhymed with cooperation would result in a trip to the furnace, if you were lucky. It would be good if she were to remember this little tidbit. All right, sounds like a plan, Nanashi agreed as he arose from the bed. He felt much better. Still looked bruised, though, but after what he had gone through, it was expected. At least it didn't look like he was a walking dead man anymore. Before we go hunting for the wayward one, I do believe you need to change, or one should not go out in clothing filled with holes. Especially if one of those would reveal the fact that you essentially lost your heart, and the fabric is bloody. The boy green looked down. It was true. His green jumper was ruined, but I have nothing else to wear, Nanashi admitted. Say, if you're God, why don't you fix it? Krishna glanced at the jumper and scowled. I don't want to. You don't want to? No. Why? It's made from the blood of... It's made from eternally filthy plastic, and I do not like the lyric of the song. Nanashi blinked. Kripa, imagine no religion. My dear friend, I have countless times seen the effect of no religion. It's hell, plain and simple. By that, Krishna means real, actual religion in which, people pray to serve the Lord and not the Lord to serve him. Now, in those type of religion, okay, ancient India had the highest technology 500 years ago. And even just 100 years ago, before the British invasion, we were talking that Kolkata, Nadia, was not just a backward town, it was the seat of all education. People will go from the farthest outreach of India and Pakistan and Bangladesh and Nepal to go to Nadia to study. And they were studying Sanskrit, the most difficult language to learn. It takes 25 years to learn Sanskrit. 25 years, and you need to start at 5-year old. This is how intense Sanskrit is. And at that time, at that time, religion was falling apart, but people were still had some piety. And now, if you go to Mayapur, everybody worship God. Mayapur is rising, and you have beautiful children showing an incredible amount of intelligence. They've made this recycling, reusable, this waste management facilities that transform trash into brick to make huts for those who need it more, who does compost, who went on reusing whatever they can be reused, reduce the trash, and educate people of India about, not throwing trash everywhere. And it's all donation based, and they're doing this amazing job. Mayapur is so clean, and even if there's some little bit of trash, it's not like some place I've seen. Anyway, that was just me speaking. If you think the world is better off with religion, okay, fine. Just don't try to force that down my throat, because I've seen it. Okay, now that she blinked. Okay. Oh, I get it, Nanashi smirked. You know what? The jumper's okay, Nanashi declared with a devilish grin. He made his way to the shower. The least he could do was to wash off the blood and patch the hole up. Yes, in this story, Nanashi has his own bathroom because Nanashi, well, you will understand soon. And he could still rebel a little bit. Not use being too pure. No use being too pure around these parts anyway. Sorry, once again, it's my Gayatri. Yep. Oh, okay. Once in the bathroom, he gave himself a thorough once-over. Still frightfully thin, still as pale as a greenish ghost, and now covered with even more green scars, the biggest one on his chest. Nanashi gingerly touched where the empty hole used to be. My heart's still in there. I should have stayed dead. I should still be dead. He realized as he felt his brand new organ beating in response to his emotion. God saved me. He personally saved me. This was huge. He could barely wrap his mind around. As if to save him for the complete meltdown, Nanashi noticed a scar on his jaw. It was a pretty visible one too. Oh man, why do you have to be on my face? So he was scarring green. This was why he preferred to wear covering clothing. No one would ask if they couldn't see. I think I still have some tape, so I'll have to be more careful about it. His assessment done, he entered the shower, washing away blood and the awful feeling of losing his teachers. No, those were not tears. No, he was not sobbing. He was not weak. He was strong. And men did not cry. They only did when drunk, and he was still a year too young to indulge. When he came out, feeling even more refreshed, he noticed that his new favorite jumpsuit was gone. Instead, there was a pair of Hunter's standard issued armored green pant, that was long, and the edgiest black shirt in the universe. On it was a note that read, "My dear friend, you may consider yourself an anarchist, but I'd rather you be a Vaishnav and dressed neatly. I will find you something more to your liking, but for now, please accept this dress. With all respect, your dear friend and well-wisher, Sri Krishna, son of Nanda and Yashoda. P.S. Postscriptum. I know you miss them. I am taking care of them as we speak, and it's all right to have emotions. I too have them. The youth blushed. And here goes my privacy. At first, Nanashi felt a bit, what was the word? Too controlled, his wills and desire disrespected, and his privacy completely gone. And yet, those pants were of high quality, he realized, as he inspected the piece of reinforced clothing. The boy knew very well that those were exclusive to the highest-ranking hunters, and that shirt. Okay, I never thought Krishna would give me something so edgy, he murmured as he took in the high-quality print. It was clear this half-lion, half-man creature on the shirt was beyond pissed. Dang, wouldn't want to be on the business end of those claws. Whoever angered him must be so dead right now. He lowered the shirt. There was also a utility belt with a hook for his for his new shovel. Army boots. He had on army boots and a pair of brand new underwear, socks, and some tasteful pieces of jewelry. All in all, it was more than what Nanashi could have expected to receive. He gave me back my life. He gave me a powerful weapon, saved my sister, empowered me to defeat all those demons, even kill a Dramelesh, and now he gave me this set. Nanashi scratched his old bandage mechanically. He now realized that God just kept giving. The air, water, heat. God gave everything. And now God gave him his mercy. And some brand new, never used clothes. And only now did he ask something from him. Now Krishna had asked Narashi to be his instrument. And he had politely asked, not expecting anything. His vision blurred, and a bald man in orange smiled at him, and the boy with blue hair. The air, pure water, sunshine, everything is the Lord's gift, but it is not ours to hoard and exploit for our own enjoyment. The Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita 3.10, in the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creature sent forth generations of men and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, be thou happy by this yajna, sacrifice, because its performance will bestow upon you all desirable things. I see, spoke the boy with blue hair. Nanashi shook his head, dispelling this weird memory. Wordlessly, the resurrected punk began dressing. He replaced his contact and the bandages around his left ankle and waist in complete silence, mulling over the entire conversation he just had with God. His entire worldview changed in a period too short. Oh, Asahi had not been too hard to find. She had been sulking for the past hour in the station, moping about the fact that the boss wanted her to be safe. Nanashi knew that life could be very dull on the ground for the kids and young girls. Hell, even he would often be napping with how low on action life could be. But of course, the banalist of day could turn into chaos at the drop of a hat, especially with Asahi as his sister. The young girl had her arms crossed under her breast, and her countenance screamed, I'm mad and frustrated. Nanashi may have faced recently the legion of Lucifer, the wrath of the boss after doing something stupid, and his reoccurring nightmare. But nothing at all would top the tearful face of his adopted sister. He approached her with extreme caution, all the while trying to hide his fear. And now the tension of that scene was utterly destroyed by Krishna, who could barely hold his laughter in. This should annoy the teen, But to see Krishna enjoying his antic, this was pure bliss. Of course, Nanashi shot the Lord a very annoyed look, just to see how he would react, and Krishna did not disappoint. He became comically severe for about 5 seconds before pulling his tongue out and bursting out of peals of ebullient laughter. It did wonder to evaporate his anxiety, but the point still stood. Nanashi still had to brave the Asahi typhoon. He cleared his throat loud enough for her to hear. He turned around, and the moment her eyes fell on her brother, her entire mood changed. "Wow! Cool shirt!" complimented Asahi. It seemed a new piece of garment broke her out of her pity party. "Thanks. Who gave it to you? Tall, dark, and spooky?" She spoke as she gestured to Krishna. It took all of Nanashi's self-control not to panic or die of laughter. She could see God and had called him tall, dark, and spooky. Okay, so Krishna may be God, the supreme controller of everything and the one who could smite the wrongdoer with a thought, but he was not spooky. Krishna didn't want to say it out loud, even in his mind, but Krishna was a source and then the definition of the term tall, dark, and handsome. Very handsome. As if he had heard his mind, Krishna, who had been floating / standing close by, bestowed upon the resurrected boy one of his crooked smile decorated with his flute. Nanashi cleared his throat. "You can see him too?" "Yeah, kinda hard to miss a tall, glowing demon with ankle bells." Krishna's face fell. "Hey! I'm not a demon! Kripa, tell her I'm not an asura!" "Why don't you tell her?" Krishna whispered as discreetly as possible to the Lord. "She can't hear me, nor can she see my full features either. If one is not worthy, then they may come to my many temples only to witness a pair of statues." Nanashi raised a brow. It felt like the Lord was referencing something, but it eluded the boy. Instead, he just turned to Asahi, who was still staring at Krishna. "He's not a demon." His sister raised his brow at this. "Really? What is he then? An angel or something?" "Shit, how am I supposed to answer that? If I tell Asahi that Krishna is God, yeah, no, that won't end very well, especially in public." "Just tell her the same thing you told Iori, but you will need to tell her everything later, though." "Right. Hey, wait a minute. You can read. I am not a mind reader, but I do dwell in everyone's heart, and thus am privy to all conversation." "You better start talking, though. Your sister's getting impatient." Nanashi slightly nodded. "He is a persona, an entity who protect me because he want to, and yeah, he didn't like the poem on my suit, so he gave me new duds." "Ah, you're so lucky. You always get the cool stuff." Nanashi coughed a bit. Oh, he had noticed his good luck. "So, let me guess." Asahi crossed her arms, her mood soaring again. "Dad sent you." "No, well, yeah, and—" "Hari," Krishna whispered. "Hari worried about you." Asahi raised a brow as her face darkened. "Seriously? Him too?" This is just typical. "Asahi, how can he? First it's Dad, then it's you, and now there's this creepy guardian." The teenage girl began her rant. "Damn it, I'm not a baby anymore. I'm 15. She threw her hands in the air. "And I'm practically a hunter now. It's just Dad acting up again. How can he not be proud?" Asahi exclaimed as she became pacing. "I am doing my best to follow his footstep. I went through all the training, all the hardship, and he still treat us like babies." "Geez, I wonder why," Nanashi commented in his mind. "It's not like you and I almost got eaten and killed or anything." "I've had enough," She stomped her foot. The only way I can get the respect I deserve is if I become a legit hunter. She then turned to the ever so silent Nanashi. Any ideas? Nanashi tried not to groan. Kripa, is everything fine? No, she knows what has to be done, but she doesn't want to take responsibility for it. So she wants you to be a scapegoat if thing goes to hell in a handbasket. Krishna facepalmed. Krishna, what should I do? Nanashi asked the Lord. He had no idea what to do. Usually, Azahi's plan would involve. Oh my god, I wrote plane. Would involve trying to steal things and explore Kinshicho further than what she was allowed. But now they had no one to look after their sorry ass. Hey, how about me? I never saw you fight. But I can fight, Krishna argued back. I just do not feel the need to bother with significant demons. Whatever. So, any ideas? Well, you could tell her you have no idea, or you could... No, forget about talking sense into her. She's way beyond stubborn, and she has some material on me. Materials? The Lord asked as he raised a delicate brow. Blackmail. You probably already know about it, Nanashi admitted. Krishna just hummed as he considered the situation. Yes, if that's the case, then better go along with her for now. I can always work out the details as we go. Well, whatever God said. Nanashi braced himself. We can go recruit some demons? At those words, Azahi did this very girly scream as he jumped around and hugged her brother. I knew I kept you around for a reason. Krishna, Nanashi turned to the Lord. Please tell me it will end well. The Lord smiled mysteriously as he put a golden flute to his reddish lips. I'm not spoiling it. You know, Nanashi... Okay, now there's supposed to be a line break there, but for some reason I forgot to edit this particular chapter. Whoops. So, line break, scene number 4. You know, Nanashi, maybe recruiting demons would be easier if you didn't kill them all. So, yeah, they had managed to sneak out to the protected zone and were now hunting for some demons to recruit. There was one little problem though. Nanashi, after his meeting with the Lord, was now way too powerful for the onion chickens and other weak food type. Thus, after he had the span of 1 hour, the whole area was vacated from all demons smart enough to know when to fold them, meaning no more demons to recruit. It was kind of impressive though. Nanashi was more of a sword fighter and would still sometimes struggle to fight, but now he fought with a fancy shovel and completely destroyed the enemies. It was pretty cool too, and he knew this newfound strength came from the Lord. Damn, I sound like those angels now. I should just... Yeah, I'm stopping before I start sprouting wings or something. Azahi, you already have a demon, he spoke to his sister, trying to move away from those thoughts. Yeah, but she's not listening to me, Azahi grumbled as she glared at Nikari's stolen phone. Nope, she did not give it back. Can't believe he linked his phone with his health. Now all of his demons are gone. Bummer. Don't you remember? It's normal procedure. Well, normal procedure sucks. He had so many cool and powerful demons. Now I only have a pixie, and she's a real bitch. Is she even aware that respect usually go both ways? Krishna asked. I don't think she realized that. But to be honest, pixies were known to be very temperamental. My dear Kripa, God turned to Nanashi. Promise me that you will respect every living entity and take only what is entitled to you. Why? Nanashi asked. The Lord of the universe looked right into the boy's eyes. I do not like seeing my children fight and maim one another, no matter their birth or their form. A feeling of guilt crawled behind Nanashi's spine. He had been killing demons for some time. He was even good at it. Why though? They are demons, not humans. Krishna shook his head sadly. Kripa, the soul has nothing to do with the body of it is in. All living entities are my part and parcels, or my sons and daughters. It matters not in what form they are, or even if they believe in me or not. I still care about them. A feeling of pure dread flooded Nanashi's entire body as he heard those words, and he could literally feel his sins crawling up his back like a cold skeletal hand. Da 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 da. Sorry, I just had to. Undertale has some very interesting characters. A feeling of pure dread. Okay, Kripa, is everything fine? You went all pale all of a sudden. The Lord asked, concerned from his servant. Are you still weakened by your previous ordeal? The boy in green only had the power to shake his head. What's wrong then? Can I do anything to help? I I killed so many. He never liked to kill, but in this world, in the land of Tokyo, it was killed or be killed, and now he felt the Lord's cooling hand upon his trembling back. Immediately he felt waves of love pouring from Krishna, extinguishing the fire of his fear. My dear Kripa, what you did and are still doing is not against the love for human, Krishna gently explained. Looking up from the Lord's beautiful feet, Nanashi was caught in the net of his bottomless golden eyes. In the Manu Samhita, it is clearly written that killing an aggressor, an arson, a thief, or an adulterous man will not incur sins. Really? Yes. The Lord smiled, and whatever fear he had left, the fear was left in Nanashi vanished. I am not so cruel as to condemn an act of self-defense and protection. Nanashi averted his eyes. He could see Asahi was busy crawling around a dilapidated store, looking for more relics. Kripa? Kripa? Krishna asked. But since I've did so many, I don't deserve. The cruel words of the angels had left a mark on him, as with everyone who lived in this hellhole. He felt the Lord closing in, his powerful arm encircling his shoulder, and his aroma chasing away the stench of Tokyo. Oh, my dear, you of all people deserve my association. You have surrendered to me before, you have surrendered to me now, and you are now forever mine. Whatever sins you have committed in all your innumerable life have now been exonerated. Another type of shiver went climbing up Nanashi's spine. Never in his life has he felt so, not owned, but being part of something greater. He felt home. He felt like this was where he belonged, like a part back in a great machine. A machine that just happened to be soft, loving, and all-powerful, and a person. Kripa, to those who surrender to me completely, even going as far as to relinquish mundane religion, I carry what they need and provide what they lack, and I personally get rid of all their sin. Then she raised a brow. Wait, that's it? No confessions? No penance? No, to serve me is austerity enough, Krishna explained, as he moved in front of Nanashi, giving the smitten boy a chance to gaze at his full form. I want my living entities back to me, and thus I make it easier for them. Krishna, if you want us back so badly, why don't you just force us? Krishna scoffed. That's not how love works. Nanashi paused and turned to Krishna, staring at the effulgent blue Lord owlishly. The hell? What does love have to do with it? You will know soon enough, Krishna dismissed with a mysterious smile. Do not fear for all those demons you killed. It was your right to defend yourself. but no sins had been incurred. And whatever sins you may have incurred, I will not, and will commit, I will pardon them. But there the Lord of the universe looked right into Nanashi's very self. It does not give you freedom to commit crimes and slaughter innocents in my name. Is that clear? Nanashi nodded. The warning was loud and clear. Oh my gosh! The servant of the Lord all but jumped out of his skin as his sister gasped loudly. Then Nikari's phone had received an emergency message. An urgent want. Urgent enough to warrant dragging her adopted brother to the Sky Tower to rescue a few hunters sent to help Flynn and Isabel. Well, I got cursed with an interesting life, it seems, he lamented, as his sister brazenly plowed forward to the old symbol of hope, the Lord prancing beside him with a sweet-sounding ankle bell, eliciting those same fuzzy feeling he might call attraction. Maybe it's more of a blessing than that she realized. And this is chapter 3. Thank you very much for having listened. Thank you, Rome, very much for your for your generous comments. It gave me lots of confidence boost. Okay, I thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Always chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and be happy.